Hey there, y'all. Disney D Prince here with the final edition of Wedding Wednesday. Closing out February, we are going to look at some of the doll dresses that I have acquired that were unboxed, the dolls were incomplete, or I've made some changes too. So, as a refresher, we have our lovely Rose Bride doll and our lovely Club Wedd dress. Now all of these dresses are going to be on mannequins because it's just easier to show you guys all of them on mannequins than it is to swap them out onto the dolls. But you will notice that some of them have different necklaces that are on there. I did make those necklaces. You can see a couple of them in the back. Those are all done with 11-0, 9-0, 8-0, and 6-0 beads, and just strung on with thread. If you want a tutorial on that, look up Fashion Doll Stylist on Instagram. I got the links to make things from her blogspot. So without further ado, let's take a look at some of our dresses that I acquired without any dolls attached, or without all of the dolls. So first up, we have the 1992 Romantic Bride. Now, as you can see, she is very pretty. We've got a lot going on. There is tulle for days, a couple of tulle roses that are done on here, a little bit of like applique style embroidery, and the big puffy 90s sleeves that are kind of the holdover from the 80s. These do also have the full satin sleeves and then the full satin shoulders and then the lace sleeves like we liked on our Rose Bride Barbie. So very pretty. I picked this doll up in a lot where I got 3 of these wedding dresses at the same time, and it was only like $20, so it was a pretty good deal. Did have what I think may be the original doll, but she was not complete. She didn't have all of her stuff with her, so I figured I'd just show you guys the dress. These are on little AliExpress mannequins that I picked up off of Amazon. They are more expensive when you get them from Amazon, but I wanted to just have it and be done. So this is a very pretty option. The applique here on the front is a little bit much in my opinion, but it's not bad. I like the little pop of pink down here, and then again we have it on the shoulders right there at the sleeve starts. So very pretty. Again, a really easy alternative to have. So let's take a look at our next one. We have the 1993 Dream Wedding Barbie. Now she is very classic. She's pretty much the same kind of structure as the Romantic Bride and the Rose Bride, but where her tulle is down, theirs is gathered, and she is also missing these pre-shoulder lace cuffs, which I think makes for a cleaner look. And of course it doesn't have the applique there on the front of the dress. Very pretty. She's actually more of like an ecru, I would say. So an off-white. So more of like a cream-ish color compared to the stark white of the Romantic Bride or the soft like eggshell of the Rose Bride. So she is probably one of the darker dresses that we have. But again, I think she's actually one of my favorites. This was in a 3-pack. So you got her, you got Chelsea, and you got Tommy as like the ring bearer and flower girls. It may actually have been Stacy and Tommy, or Stacy and Todd, I think. But either way, it's kind of hard to come by. It's one of the probably more expensive dresses just because you don't see it that often pop up outside of the box. But this one was in really good condition, so I was excited to have it. Because this one is probably the closest to my mom's wedding dress. So it's just kind of fun for me to have something that reminds me of her like that. Not that she's dead. She's not. Just kind of, in a different city. But very fun. And of course I made a nice pearl necklace to go with it. So next up, we have one of our Fashion Avenue dresses. This is part of the evening wear line. As you can see, there is a lot of lace on this dress. It's not bad. It's just one of those dresses that's a little bit much. And it comes off looking cheap, I think. Just because of the style of lace that they used. And this is in the 95 to 98 range. I wasn't quite sure. I couldn't get like an exact date on when this fashion pack came out. But there was no doll with this. This was just a fashion pack. And actually, this has been modified. It did have sleeves that were lace. The sleeves had already been cut off when I acquired it. So I went the extra route and took off the additional bodice part that was attached to the lace. So you can see a little bit of that lace still like right there. But I think it brings it up just a little bit. It hangs really just flat. It did have a crinoline underneath, so I think it just kind of needs one. Whereas the rest of these dresses don't. Their poofiness is kind of built in. But it's not bad. This one pops up a little bit more frequently. Less so in good condition, because this lace overskirt tears really easily, and so do the lace sleeves that they had on there. Because it's not the same style of like stiff doubled up lace that we got on the older dolls. It's more just like gauze. So it's an interesting choice, but I had it, so I figured I'd show it. Not my favorite. Next up, we have the 2002 Beautiful Bride doll. This is, I think, probably the most current looking dress that we have, to where if you could have somebody wearing this in a modern wedding, it would be fine. She did originally have some sequins dotted here on the front. There's about 5 sequins with a little tiny seed bead sewn on there to add a little extra sparkle to the skirt. I would have left them except for the fact that those did not continue around the back, and because it didn't continue around the back, I removed them. I love this bodice. It's got little tiny glitter that looks like rhinestones, and I did make a nice pearl necklace with a rhinestone drop pendant for this outfit. And this was the one that took the longest to get here. For some reason, FedEx was just messing around with me this week. So this is probably one of my favorites that I think I would style a doll with now. without any kind of like vintage feel. Like if I was just going to stage a wedding, it'd probably be this dress, just because it's very cute. It's very simple. There's actually 3 layers of tulle though underneath here. There's 1, 2, 3, oh, 4 layers of tulle, and then a satin-ish underskirt. It's more like a poly satin blend probably, but still probably my favorite of the newer dresses. Now, moving into the 2000s, we have 2011 Magic Wedding Barbie. This was sold on its own. This doll was sold on her own. It was also sold in a gift pack. As you can see, we've got a lot more garishness, I would say. Theoretically, you could take all of this off of the gauze with some acetone and like a toothbrush. Would be relatively easy to do and make it more streamlined. I like the construction of the dress. This is one I had before I realized where I'd put it, and I was going through looking for other things, and I actually found this one, and I was like, oh, I guess that is a wedding dress. All right, I'll throw it in the collection. So very cute. This is very much obviously a dress that was introduced after Wedding was moved into the Dreamtopia line, because this is much more like, oh yeah, okay, cool, that's fine. So this wasn't a fashion pack, it was a doll. It was a very basic doll. I think she had a necklace at one point, but it was a big plastic necklace, so it wasn't like a crazy thing to lose or anything like that. But she's not bad. She's just meh. And of course, our last dress is the one that we reviewed first with Miss Vera Wang. And that is going to be our new fashion pack dress. Now, as you see, I've done a little customizing. So I got rid of the pink ribbon that went around. You can still see a little bit of it right back there in between the seams. I wanted to leave that for you guys so you knew I was using the same dress. I just gathered the front of these to give us more of this peplum look. I added in a little fabric rose that I trimmed the green off of. These were like $2 for the whole pack of these, and they're going to be super easy to use in dress customizing. And I threw the crinoline from our evening wear dress underneath to give us back some more of that length that we were missing from it being like a T-length gown. And of course I added in a Dreamtopia mermaid necklace that I had trimmed the little peg that kept it on the doll off onto the top of it to make it more visually interesting there at the neck. But again, so this dress on its own is not a lost cause. You can very easily make it more fun, make it interesting, make it fit your style. It's a great way to just start doing customizing, but they are all really good options to have, like on hand. So, I mean, really, the dresses that you can get now are pretty varied. We've got a couple of princess dresses, a couple of strapless, a couple of halters. We've got a scoop neck, you know. And these necklaces take me maybe 10 minutes to do, and you can make your own custom necklaces. for probably like under $2, counting in the fact that you're buying your materials in bulk, because the smallest amount of seed beads is a tube that's about 10 ounces. So these are all really cute. I'm really excited to have some wedding dolls in my collection now. And honestly, I don't know which of these is my favorite. I came into this thinking that I had found the perfect dress in the Club Wedd. But after seeing all of these in person, they all have their key points. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things that you look at and you go, oh, well, all right, that'll work. But I think my top 3 are going to be the Beautiful Bride, the Club Wed, and the Dream Wedding. Just because this one seems more modern and very stylable. This has got the classic appeal, and this one reminds me of my mom. So, you know. There are plenty of great options, though. Like Rose Bride Barbie is great, and none of these dresses cost me an arm and a leg to acquire. And I really didn't have to do that much hunting to find them and, like, you know, be like, oh, well, oh my gosh, I've never seen this one in person. No. They were all relatively easy to acquire. So check out the Instagram. I might be posting some of these with some stories here in the next month or so. So if you enjoyed it, leave me a like. If you have questions on any of these individual dresses, let me know in the comments. And as always, follow along for some more fun unboxings, reviews, and more. Be good, y'all. Bye.